All right, guys, we are ready to get into this. Again, tell your friends to join us here for our first ever show match. Thank you again for more gifted subs. Appreciate you. So we've got MC up here in the top right, and it looks like he's got a StarCraft 2 Protoss he's playing, and JAEDONG's going to be down here in the bottom left playing StarCraft 1 Zerg. Battle the barcodes here, guys. You're going to have to know who's who by knowing the race.
Yep. Yeah, MC is going to be the red. JAEDONG is going to be the blue. So yeah, just keep that in your memory ranks, because otherwise, unless you see it hovering over with their clan tag, you're not going to know. So good luck with that. But we're going to get a reversal of what the last match was, where it was SC1 Protoss and SC2 Zerg, where now it's going to be the total opposite of that. So now we can see the other interaction of how this works. So perhaps MC will go for some cheeky early game rush, because obviously he was even very well known for that when he was the best Protoss in the world, essentially, back in the old 2010, 2011 days or so.
Yeah, I mean, MC was always, I think, for the early day Protosses, really able to get in there and engage with the opponent right away. I do feel like a StarCraft 1 Zerg is pretty scary, like, to be out on the map with. Keep in mind, like, StarCraft 2 Zealots are just not as good as StarCraft 1 Zealots early on, like at the start of the game, right? So I feel like it's going to be even harder for the Protoss to necessarily, right at the start, get in the guy's face, but maybe if he can tech up. Like, I don't know what Stalkers could do to a StarCraft 1 Zerg as an example.
Yeah, true, I guess, because, yeah, Hydras are a thing where you can get them so fast in this matchup comparatively.
Yeah.
And, I mean, yeah, no, I mean, because there's another thing, though, because, like, there's no queens, though. There's no creep spread.
Yeah.
So it's, like, that is also something that is really influential on how you play StarCraft 2 Protoss, and where you can maybe, like, shade adepts across and whatnot, because that's usually what you're trying to do. You block a hatchery, so that way it's harder to then get creep connected between all the three bases, and then you can just kind of shade adepts everywhere, and you deal a lot of damage there. So I'm curious how that will play out. I do know, I remember seeing a clip on Reddit from JAEDONG's stream of him rage quitting versus Glaive Adepts going between all his bases. So maybe MC was either the one that did that or is aware of that clip and might go for something similar. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, I mean, for now we have a pretty basic fast expand build here. We don't really know what Protoss is going for yet. We do have 3-hatch Hydras. So to be very clear with everybody, this is a bit of a cheese. You're basically going to try to go for a bust at the entrance right away. This is maybe one of the strongest builds in all the StarCrafts and all the matchups, I feel like. I remember losing to this in StarCraft 1 as a Protoss, like, I don't know, how old is StarCraft 1 now, like 25 years?
Something like that.
Yeah, so like 23 years ago, I was losing to this. People at ASL still lose to it to this day. And the reason is Hydras are so good, they can tear down your entrance. They have decent range, so they can even fire over and kill cannons if the cannon's not perfectly placed. And if the rush doesn't work, you just kind of stop and make drones and you're fine. So it's sort of the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I'm curious about what MC is really doing as his overall plan here. I mean, he's going straight into +1 and charge on 2 bases after opening for multiple Zealots and a Sentry. It's not exactly the most common PvZ build you would ever see in StarCraft 2. So obviously he's kind of maybe dipping into both worlds here to find some kind of style that he thinks works versus this Brood War Zerg, because I have not quite seen anything like this in StarCraft 2. So it looks like he's going to try to go for some sort of 2-base +1 charge all in, and doing it in just kind of an interesting way, because usually when you go for this in StarCraft 2, you don't have a +1 with it. It's just you go with the fastest possible charge in a War Prism, maybe even with an Immortal or so, to really kind of power everything down. But I guess Immortals aren't really going to do you anything in this scenario, because it's not like the Brood War Zerg has Roaches, where you have an armored unit. It's going to be Hydras, which are, I'm pretty sure, are not armored, correct?
No, it's weird. In fact, when I first started playing StarCraft 2, as it came out, I had a hard time wrapping my head around the StarCraft 2 Hydra because it was so different than what I was used to. StarCraft 1 Hydra, it's like about as squishy as a Stalker, but it does way more damage.
Yeah, well, we'll see how well they do at the front here. It seems like MC wasn't quite aware this was even happening, as he's got a cannon and shield battery only just now coming out. And I mean, the Zealots will be able to shred through the Lings, and there's only a few Hydras behind them. And I mean, I guess without any speed or anything, that's going to be pretty easy to deal with. And then the charge kicks in as well. We'll be able to chase down the remaining few afterwards. It felt like JAEDONG didn't really have many units there to actually attack with. I'm not sure if that was supposed to be an all-in or a pressure. It didn't really seem like it was actually anything that was going to do too much damage, to be honest with you. Like, this is looking a bit weird now for JAEDONG, I would say.
Yeah, well, now, I mean, I don't know what you're going to do. I mean, once StarCraft 2 Zealots are able to charge in like this, I mean, it's not exactly like you could just kite. So JAEDONG in a lot of trouble here. The drones are now going to be picked off here. I think that, I don't think MC is going to necessarily close the game out with this, but this is a lot of damage.
He's got an Archon and double Zealot drop coming across as well. This one Zealot hasn't died yet. Gets another Hydra there.
Dude, he got 16 drones.
Yeah, that's an insane amount of drones here. And without larva inject from Queens or anything, that's going to be really hard to actually get it back on track here. There are a lot of hatcheries, so we'll be able to make quite a few from that, but at this point now, you're not going to have any more units to actually deal with what's going to be coming next, which is this Archon Zealot pressure, which, again, in StarCraft 2, you can now instantly reinforce this as well. You don't have to wait for things to rally across the map. So JAEDONG not going to be prepared for this either, and now there's just a whole army inside of his base after he initially defended the first one.
Yeah, coming in here and hitting again. And, I mean, the surround is doing so much damage. The drones are not, again, it's a StarCraft 1 race, but it's not like it's got the same pathing for workers. Workers are just a little bit weaker in this version. I think that JAEDONG's actually dead. This push coming in here through the front, he could even force field the ramp if he wants to make things really messy, or Guardian Shield's fine too. GG! Really impressive showing here from MC.
Yeah, I mean, extremely well done there. I'm still kind of curious about what JAEDONG was really trying with his initial push, because it felt like he had like 5 Hydras with that attack, which I mean, at least when I watch Brood War, when they're going for that kind of a style, it's like a, there's like a bunch of Hydras.
You just keep making them.
Yeah.
So I think the idea, I mean, this is what it would mean in StarCraft 1, so I guess he's trying to make this idea work versus StarCraft 2 race, but you make 5, and then you try to maybe kill the gateway or the cybernetics core on the outside, and then you hope that they've overmade cannons. So basically, you can, because that rush, if they do keep making Hydras, is so scary, good players will just scare you into making pure, like just cut probes, make cannons, don't die, when actually you've undermade that attacking unit, and then you just have so many drones, it makes the mid-game very easy.